You can claim your risk-free trial membership to Jet Set Money by going to getjetsetmoney.com. Here's Rob.
Well, one of the reasons why we came up with our product, getjetsetmoney.com, is because people read the 4-Hour Workweek, they got inspired to do it, and they either burned through their cash or didn't have some sort of automated stream of income set up. So I just, I kind of went about finding people who not necessarily were living abroad doing it, but I found people who were generating a monthly automated income that required maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a week after the initial setup was done. So, I think that's where the big confusion came in. A lot of people say, well, you didn't work on that for 4 hours a week. You worked on that for 100 hours. Well, that might be true. But after the initial upfront was worked on, it's done. For example, we get orders every single day we've got about maybe 4 or 5 different products now. We get orders every single day. We just got back from a month in Sicily. And every day, another one of our products we're selling. One of our guidebooks, a Jet Set Money, a Jet Set Insider. One of these things we're selling. So I just simply modeled people who were doing it. Some of them traveled. Some of them didn't travel. It didn't matter to me as long as they were able to set it up. So, I'm curious, and we're not going to go into how you make the income. I know that you do some consulting work and stuff. I saved that for our Jet Set Money members. This is more about inspiration, showing people by speaking to somebody who's actually doing it that yes, it can be done. Could you just sort of explain briefly how you're able to take advantage of currency fluctuations and how you're using what Tim calls geo arbitrage to your advantage by living in Bangkok right now?
Yeah, well, it's funny because it's so, that principle, right, of geo arbitrage, I think it's like staring you in the face, but I never
Would you
really
mind explaining it? Because I think a lot of people have no idea what we're talking about.
Well, yeah, so what it is basically, the idea is you earn in, the strongest currencies you can. And right now, I don't know how long, but right now that's US dollars. Do business with people in the UK, in Europe, in Australia. Actually, I think the Australia dollar and the Canadian dollar are rising against the US dollar. I think they're stronger now. But so basically, yeah, earn money, seek clients with the strongest currencies, right? And then live somewhere with the cheapest cost of living, that where you're comfortable. And like, for example, Thailand, you can live in luxury here, and you can get by really well and have a great lifestyle for like $1,000 tops. You could go overboard and spend as much as you want, but
break that down for me. When you say that you can really live in luxury, give me a sense of sort of what that means. Like, what would you equate, if at all possible, in the U.S.? I mean, obviously Bangkok is not like Boston. It doesn't look like Boston, let's say. But is there any, like, I was in Punta del Este a few months ago, and that I was blown away by how much that resembled Paris. I mean, I felt like I could live in the city of Paris for $1,000 a month and live like a rock star. Is there an equivalent? Is there an equivalent in Bangkok that's sort of like that? As compared to the U.S., let's say.
Well, some days I don't know if there's similarities to different places, but Bangkok is unique. Sometimes it's got a bad reputation. There's definitely like the dark side, and there's a lot of creeps here. But I've met some incredible people. A lot of really entrepreneurial folks, and all kinds of people doing just their own interesting projects from all over the world.
Yeah.
But I'd say, like, in a lot of ways, that Bangkok actually kind of reminds me of LA some days. Just the general feeling, just walking around the city and temperature, and it's a little dirtier, but
right.
But yeah, as far as like the lifestyle, I mean, I keep a really basic apartment here because I do travel so frequently, and so like right now I've been living in just a pretty minimalistic studio apartment, just myself. but it's in the very, very center of town. It's like right next to like the raised train to get around town. And I mean, if you look on the map, it's the dead center of Bangkok. And like this apartment is about maybe $300 a month, like
Wow.
utilities included.
Wow. That's 300 US, right?
Yeah, yeah. You could get like a really plush place in the same area for, maybe $450, $500 a month, and you could get. I mean, like a new building that's built in the last 2-3 years for that price.
So
With all the trimmings and.
You could pimp it out, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but like I keep just a basic place here, and then I try to. When I spend money, I prefer to spend it on experiences. I go out with friends to a really nice dinner, probably 5 nights a week. Go out for drinks, go out to the nightclub or the pub, and I try to travel as frequently as I can with my girlfriend. And
now
and
your girlfriend was someone that you met in Bangkok.
Yeah, we did actually. She's English, and somehow, lucky me, like we met each other here, of all places, and it is really cool because we're very, very like-minded. She's like a permanent traveler too. She started out as a backpacker and then basically started a magazine for backpackers. So she's got the traveler thing and the entrepreneur thing, and we just jive with each other really well.
Well, if she wants to get a little love from a jet setter, just have her send me a blog or something my way, and I'll help her out. Even though backpacking isn't my market, I'm always looking for somebody who's taking a twist and doing something totally different, so I can tie in the lifestyle of you with the backpacker entrepreneurialness of her. And I think it'd be an interesting blog.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're earning the dollars, so you're, right now you're a consultant, you're making some income coming in as a consultant. Do people pay you like via PayPal or something like that, and then you just convert it into Bangkok money?
Yeah, like I have a number of different things, and we won't get too into it, but yeah, my business, the main thing, I do consulting one-on-one myself, and most of my biggest clients actually do direct deposit. But my business does a lot of web design projects, one-off stuff for small businesses, authors, speakers, that kind of thing. And then I also have, I'm still working on my muses and turning my business into something where it runs completely without me. But I do have a lot of small side projects, affiliate mini sites and stuff that are basically bringing in a couple $100 a month in PayPal. So yeah, like everything comes into my right now U.S. bank, and then I just transfer stuff.
Would this be more difficult for you if you had kids, do you think, or do you feel that is just an excuse that people make to not do this?
Well, I mean, yeah, in all honesty, I'm sure it would, because I have no idea what that's like. I'm not a parent. And being a single traveler, a single entrepreneur is probably a lot easier than having a family. But I know it's possible because I've got lots of friends that do it. And, like, for example, my buddy Adam Baker was out here a while back with his wife and his 2-year-old daughter. He traveled through Australia, New Zealand, and then out here to Thailand, and they spent like a year and a half.
Man versus Debt guy?
Exactly.
Yeah, cool guy.
Yeah. And I think there's a time in there when you need to probably settle down somewhere, and I think it's about that age, like 2.5. But I do know lots of people that travel with their kids and basically raise their kids, traveling and just expose them to a lot of things, and they make the most of it. So,
what would you say is the best part of you living abroad?
Can I say 2 things?
Sure.
I think it is that geo arbitrage. There's all kinds of factors at play, but it's like if you've grown up, lived, and pretty much stayed at home in the U.S., for example, and you haven't traveled a lot, and even if you've traveled, like a 2-week vacation is so much different than actually living somewhere. Even just if you rent an apartment for a month, it's different than just traveling through a place for 2 weeks. the longer you spend, obviously you make friends and you figure out like where the deals are and you find the hidden gem